Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today I have a great video and it is titled The First Thing That You Need to Do to Manifest Anything. So I'm really inspired to do this video because it was something that I struggled with when I first started, consciously, intentionally creating. So we're going to dive into this. So this video is for anybody that is wanting to speed up their manifestation, or they're currently struggling, or you've been manifesting someone or something for a long time and it hasn't come. This video is definitely for you. Just before I dive into it, guys, guess what? We're giving away a free course, how to find your blocks to manifest anything fast. I intend to be able to talk. There's the link in the description just below this video. Click it and fill in your information and you'll get the course. If it says that your email is already on the list for the course, just definitely email us and Brandy will send you out the course. So yeah, I intend everybody enjoys it. The feedback's been great from it so far. So yeah, because we really here do want you guys to be successful. So we're going to do everything that we can to help you with that. And thank you for, having us along on your manifesting journey. So, and guys, by the way, I also have a course, Create the Relationship You Love by Amanda. So it's about recreating everybody and anybody or anything really, because an SP, a specific person, could also be a thing. It could be money. It could be your car. It could be your dishwasher. It could be absolutely anything. And of course, guys, Megan's having a sale on her courses. The link is in the description below. She just put out a new course and yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So definitely check that out. So let's dive into this, okay? The first thing that we need to do in order to be successful at manifesting anything is getting clear on what our goal is, okay? Like really getting clear on it, because the only way you'll be able to know what a block is in your own thoughts, what thought is blocking you or what thing is blocking you, is if you know where you're going. So it's like putting an address in the GPS. When you put an address in your GPS gives you, the route to go on, right? Well, if we don't have a clear, defined end goal, then basically what ends up happening is you've got no direction of where you're going. So because everyone is you pushed out, okay? So let's say that my goal is for Jerry to want to marry me and to be in a committed relationship, okay? Now, if I'm not clear on that goal and what commitment is, what that's going to look like, then my thoughts are going to be all over the place, because you only have a thought that blocks you in relation to what you actually want. So I've said this many times. If I don't want Jerry to like me, I don't care to be his friend or to have him in my life, and I say Jerry doesn't like me, that statement's not a block, because I don't want him in my life anyway. Now, if I want him to be in a commitment with me and want to marry me, then me saying Jerry doesn't like me all of a sudden becomes a block. So nothing is positive or negative. Like there's not one statement that's positive and negative to absolutely everybody out there unanimously agreeing Jerry not liking you is a negative statement and it's a block. No, it's only a negative statement or a block if I want to be in a committed relationship with him. If I don't, and I don't care if he likes me, then me saying he doesn't like me isn't a block anymore. So something is only positive or negative, a block, or in line with what you want in relation to what you actually want. And it's going to be different for every single person, right? So that's the first thing. Get clear on what you want. What is it you want? Okay. So do you want to be spoiled? What does being spoiled look like? Is he going to cut your meat up for you? Is he going to make your tea every morning? Is he going to buy you flowers all the time? Is he going to do the house chores? Is he going to bring you gifts? Like, what does it look like for you to be spoiled and pampered? Because I can tell you that I have a much different idea of what being spoiled and pampered is as opposed to somebody else. Now, you want him to chase you or her to chase you? Absolutely. What does that look like? What are you going to see, hear, and feel? What actions is the other person going to do? What is the other person going to say like to you to make you feel like you're being chased and pursued by them? So you want to sit down and get really clear on your goal. Okay. So if your goal is to be in a committed relationship, what does that look like to you? Does that look like that they're moving in with you, having dinner with you every night? Are they maybe not living with you and just seeing you every weekend? Like, what does your committed relationship look like to you? What are you going to see, hear, and feel? What's the other person going to do? What are their actions going to be? How often are you going to see them? Are they going to live in your house with you? Are you going to move into their house? What does your end goal look like to you? And you want to spend time on defining that and really, building that, because the more conscious energy you're putting into that, you're actually creating it. And then the second thing that happens is when you've created that, and you've created that's your end goal. And then what you'll do is you'll hear thoughts and you'll be like, okay, say for instance, right, your goal is for a committed relationship is that, you know what, Jerry's going to come over every night and have dinner with you, right, and watch TV with you. And then all of a sudden on a Friday morning, you're like, oh, when's Jerry's going to work late and he's not going to come over? Well, boom, right there, that thought is not in line with what your end goal is. Your end goal, your desire is to be in a committed relationship, and that includes him coming over every single night, or her. Okay, so then at that point, you think that thought and you're like, no, I don't want to create that. What do I want to create instead? No, you know what? Jerry's going to be off work as usual. In fact, he's going to be off work early and he's going to come over and surprise me with flowers and bring fried chicken, right? Like, why stop there? You know what I mean? So by defining what your end goal is what thoughts you're going to keep and get rid of. You know what I mean? So that's incredibly important. So, and then once you know what that end goal is, right, and you focus on it and you put an energy and intention to it, and you really, like, paint the picture for yourself, like go through the details of what you want. You don't have to go through the details of how it's going to happen, but go through the details of what you want that end goal to be. And when you go through those details of what you want that end goal to be, everything else will fall in place, and you'll know which thoughts are a block and which thoughts aren't a block. So a thought that blocks you is any thought that's kind of like contrary, like, oh, I want Jerry to come over every night. No, he's always out with his friends. Okay, so always out with his friends is not a good thought, right? A good thought would be, he always makes time for me. He always comes over. He always comes over after work and spends time with me. That thought is in line. You're in vibration with what you want. You're resonating with what you want, whatever you want to call it. So you want to make sure that all of your thoughts are in line with this end goal. I know years ago when I first started consciously creating, I would do 1 or 2 affirmations here or there, but I wasn't really clear on what my intention point was. Like, what was I actually, creating? And when we're not looking at the full big picture and creating that big picture of what the details are going to look like, right, then it leaves room for other stuff to come in, from our negative thoughts. We're not quite sure. So, oh, well, that's it. I just want to live with Jerry. Okay, fine. You can live with Jerry. Okay. But what happens if Jerry goes out every night with his friends and doesn't spend, and comes home late at night, right? So you want to go through all those details to sort of identify what it is you want. So if you do have those thoughts of, oh, what happens if he goes out with his friends? What happens if he doesn't pick up his clothes? Whatever the case is, then you already know, hey, no, my goal is he's going to spend time with me, to get on that thought right away. So, the biggest thing is, is making sure we're clear on it, because everyone is you pushed out. So it's funny. So as we're sitting here, right, going, okay, I want to see Jerry every night. And then all of a sudden on Friday, we're like, oh, is he going to come over today? Jerry's like, I'm going to go over there today. And then it's like, and then all of a sudden you're like, maybe he's got to work late. And his boss is going, maybe Jerry should work late tonight. And then all of a sudden you're like, no, Jerry's probably going to, get off work early. And then his boss is thinking, oh, maybe Jerry will get off work early. Like, you're controlling all of it. If your thoughts are going back, forth, then they're going back, forth. Like, I'm not joking. This is instantaneous. A lot of times we don't see our manifestation instantaneous because we're too busy flopping back and forth on our thoughts, that they're going back and forth on their thoughts, right? So when you want something, right, you put your thoughts on it and you land on it, okay? And if you do have another thought come in that's not in line with what you want, you just say, no, that's okay. This is what I want instead. This is what's going to happen. It's like, oh, I had a thought, maybe he's going to work late. No, of course not. He's going to be off early. I feel like that's true. That's what's going to happen. And he's going to come over and he's going to bring me flowers and he's going to bring me fried chicken. Watch Andrew bring home fried chicken today. Okay, so yeah, guys, get clear on what you want. Spend some time sitting down and really going over what you're going to see, hear, and feel, what the other person's going to do, what they're going to say, what you're going to experience, right? And, that's also why I like manifesting in steps, because, every, step that I do has had its share of blocks, right? That, I've created. So it really comes down to, taking a good look at every, as you go through the, all the stages of, say, a relationship, right? A stage of a relationship, you start dating, okay, then you'd realize, okay, hey, I manifested this person to be not that bad. I kind of like them. Okay, next step, oh, now we're going to be in a serious committed relationship. Next step, next step. And, and when you manifest in steps, then, you've got a smaller chunk of what you're going to, create as your end goal, but then it's always movable. I mean, or you can go straight to the end wherever you want the end to be, but you're always going straight to the end. You always have to go straight to the end, because really, honestly, if you're creating that this is what your committed relationship looks like, that's going to build into your marriage. The only thing you'll have to do after you get this committed relationship with him living with you, and you guys are living happily and harmoniously, just like the way that you've pictured it, right? And then the next step would just be like, well, I intend he wants to marry me, right? You don't have to do all that extra. All this work you're doing now at this stage will roll into that. Even if you're right now in a no communication situation, you still have to intend communication, because if you want to, intend marriage, because if you're not communicating and you want to get married, that's a huge step, right? Like, you have to talk if you're going to be married. At least I think you would want to talk to each other if you're married, right? So you start, intending that communication on that chunk and get back into communication, right? And that's going to play right into getting married and living happily ever after. Okay, so does that make sense? Yeah. Anyway, I intend it makes sense. Anyways, that's how I do. That's how I do. Yeah. But the most important thing is getting clear on what you want. That way, you know where to direct your thoughts, and, you'll be able to see what your negative thoughts are and your blocks are a lot more easier, because you'll have an address in that GPS and you'll know exactly where you're going, rather than sort of flip-flopping around, right? So, yeah. So anyways, guys, I intend that video helped. And I really intend that everybody has some success, and that they're happy, and that all of you guys are manifesting everything that you want, and you're enjoying this power that you have in this quantum illusion bubble that you've created for yourself, because it really truly is magical, and it really truly is all just for you. Okay. And remember, nobody can manifest in your reality, only you. You have the power. So go out there and get what you want. And yeah, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.